everyone, and welcome back to the Botania mod, where I have been making a few changes around here. As you can see, I've done a little bit of updating to the house, although I've tried to leave the front of it looking pretty much exactly the same as it was, because it is the starter house. You know, there's a little bit of nostalgia attached to it. I quite like to keep it vaguely similar. I didn't want to change up the entire thing, that's for certain, although it does, yeah, it has a little bit of an extension that's been built onto one side. So just go over there and have a little look at what I have done. Ooh, I need to move that, I often run into that one. But if I come up here, you will see this is now where our runic altar is, and I have got 4 mana spreaders up there, all staring rather ominously down at it. There is also a tiny little bit of storage underneath it, just in case I need to put any runes or any bits and pieces for making them down here. I haven't put anything in these chests yet, that is just there ready for future use. And then if we come back up and I go back outside, I have extended a little bit of the pathways around, as you can see, and I can get up to the top there if I go in via the house. So if I just eat this steak up quickly so that I can run a little bit better. There we go, and then if we go inside, in here I have redone the floor just to give us a little bit more colour variation. If I go up the top though, just hop up here. This is where I've installed a little enchanting setup, and here though is where we're able to get up to the top of our new runic tower, temple, altar thingy. It's a thingy, I'm not too sure what this one is. Either way though, I have left little spaces that you'll see here, ready for when we can bring up some generating flowers, which I haven't created yet at the time that I want to use, but they'll be able to come up here very soon. And if we come back outside, I do quite like the way that this is now just sort of sticking off the side of that building. I've tried, if I just come around the side, I've built out the living rock that this is made out of just a little bit further, like it's being supported by the stonework, but for the most part I do quite like the way this looks like such an addition onto this house. It was clearly an extension, which I quite like. But what is the plan for today? Well, while I was building that, I noticed over here, if I just come back over to where we've got the ender flames set up, there is an issue. Namely, this mana pool has filled up, and so what happened was these have burnt through all of the fuel because that was being automatically dispensed by the dropper, and it's not been able to fill up any more mana. So I have probably wasted a huge amount of mana doing that, simply because they were running without the spreaders being able to send the mana anywhere. Which obviously isn't really good enough. If we're going to be generating mana, we really need to make sure that we're able to store it, particularly as now that the kelp as well has been spread right the way around this hopperhock, so it's able to all be picked up and we can gather kelp very easily. There is no reason at all why these endoflames shouldn't be running pretty much all of the time. They should be a major source of mana at this early stage of the game. So, first things first, let's massively increase the amount of mana that we're able to store in this area. And step 1 to be able to do that is going to be making a mana splitter. And what is a mana splitter, I hear you say? So if we just come over here into JEI, it should be... there she is. So what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to, funnily enough, split mana between multiple pools. And it's nice and cheap for us to make as well. So we're going to need 6 living rock and 2 of the mana steel ingots, which I think I should have. Let's have a little look. Precious things, there's those. We'll have a couple of you, and we will have some living rock. And ooh, I've not got a huge amount, but there's a spare pool. We'll take one of those as well, pop the little one back. Right, let's just have a quick little look-see. So, living rock across the top. Mana steel, there's our splitter. And now we'll make another 2 pools as well in order to go along with that. So if we just grab both of those, now we should be able to split up all of the mana that comes from those ender flames so that none of it is being wasted. Hopefully I'm going to be able to store most of what's in here inside my mana tablet. Which way are you going? To tablet, that's what I wanted to see. In you go. Right, we'll just absorb how much we can. Oh, look at that, the spreaders were already still full of mana. They're still trying to fill that pool back up again. There's no way that tablet is going to be big enough. I might need to go make another one. And in fact, I grossly underestimated how much was in there. I needed to make another 1.5 mana tablets. Right, but let's get rid of you, and we will replace that middle part instead with our mana splitter. And then we can surround this with pools, and it'll be able to fill up all of these from mana that's coming into that central point. So have a quick little look with our Wander the Forest. So These are going to the mana splitter, that's fine. To the mana splitter, very good. And then as mana starts coming through, it will put it into all of these pools, effectively quadrupling the amount of mana that we're storing. Right, let's give these flames some food. Let's top them up with this. Make as many of these as we can. Whoop, back into our dropper. Apart from one. Right, one, in you go. Oh no. Oh no! Don't eat it off me already. I need you to take that from... This is the problem with this system. Hey, there we go. Split one out. Hey! Perfect. So all of our mana is now filling up into these pools, as you can see. That's going to be able to burn through all that. It's going to last much, much longer. So that is going to be one of our little problems ticked off the list, though. I'm not bothering to replace the hydrangeas anymore. They are too much of a pain to deal with. But if we just come around the back here, you remember last time we were building up with the Marimorphosis, gradually increasing the number of blocks that we've got. If I just come back up to that mining area up here, badoink, badoink, badoink. Oh, I should have slept, but never mind. And we come inside. It is now a great big hill in here, as you can see. I've cleaned out all of the blocks that we had. These are what came through, and I've been using them as well for building already, obviously. But we have got this nice big space here. And what I've set up with down at the bottom is there are two Bellathorns here. It might be really dark. I'll pop down some torches. Pop on there. There you go. So here are a couple of Bellathorns. These are going to kill any mobs that come along. We've got a Hopperhock, which will pick up any item in the area and put it into the chest, so long as the chest doesn't have a item frame in it with an item in it. And it's gathering a little bit of mob drops for me. So that's fine. At least it's a use for this space. But I think we're going to be able to perfect this a little bit later on. For now, it is just ticking up in the background. For now though, what I really want to do is I want to get myself kitted out with some better equipment. I am fed up with wearing all of this iron, and I am definitely fed up with burning through diamonds in order to make pickaxes. And in order to do that, we are going to make our first set of mana steel equipment. So if we have a little look again over at good old JI, let's just have a look. This is the equipment we're going to be making, this little set of very blue stuff that you can see just here. And that uses mana steel, and it uses it in exactly the same configuration as if you were making normal iron armour. So it's going to be exactly the same amount, it's all set up exactly the same, we don't need any other additional ingredients. I do as well want to be able to make a pickaxe, a shovel and an axe. Not too fussed about a hoe or a sword. Don't really use those, but that's fine, I definitely want the other three. And so to do that, I am going to need quite a bit of mana steel. How much have I got? 7. That's definitely not going to be enough. Let's grab hold of some ingots. Let's grab... Do I have any living wood? Yes, I do. That should be fine as well. Okay, so we need to, first of all, mana steel up these standard iron. So let's take this over to where we have got all of that mana that we know is now building up down here on the other side. Hello, Ender Flames, doing your jobs very nicely. Right, let's see how much we can get. Not much from there. From there. How much was that? That was 51. That's going to get us started at least. Here is a crafting bench. Right, so let's make ourselves a helmet. One of those. And some nice little boots. Those. And leggings. There we go. And lastly, the chest plate. We can definitely make that one as well. Oh, I think I might even have enough to make all of it. Let's make some twigs. Can I remember how to make twigs? Twigs? There we go. Let's make 10 to begin with and see how far that gets us. Okay, so pickaxe, yes please. An axe, yes please. And lastly, it was just a hoe. Oh, look at that, we have got enough equipment. That is what I like to see. And now we can swap out for our new equipment. There's our new boots, our new leggings, and our new top. And my god, I now look like some kind of wannabe Power Ranger who is morphed with a transformer. And I've just realised I made a hoe, I meant to make a shovel. Right, so there we go, that is shoveled up, that's fine. That hoe is still going to come of use. It's not like it's going to have been wasted. But I am not the biggest fan of how this armour looks, and luckily Botania is going to give us a way to get around that. What we can do if we come back to our crafting bench is I have picked myself up some glass bits and pieces, and if I use 4 glass bottles, 1 block of glass, some dye and a mana pearl, it is going to give me a recipe, and this is creating phantom ink. So we just create that and bring it over. Then what we can do is we can come into our usual interface. Let's have our leggings, and then we can apply our ink to that. So if we just go over them, we click on that one, and then if we reapply it, haha, we cannot see the leggings. We can do this to each of our pieces of armour, 1 at a time. And I'm still wearing my armour. I've still got all of the protection you can see down below. You just can't see it. And you might be wondering what the purpose is of this equipment. So we've got our armour. It's only normal iron level armour. It's not exactly super fancy. And we've got our tools as well, which are standard iron tools. But the difference comes here. If I come over here with this shovel, and we do a little bit of digging, dig all this out, do some nice good terraforming, you'll notice the durability hasn't gone down at all. And you'll also notice just above that, in my experience bar, I have got a flashing blue line. And that's because these tools, as well as my armour, are going to use mana instead of durability. And what it's feeding on is the mana tablets that I currently have in my inventory. So you can just about see there in the background, there's our blue bar. At the moment it's saying that it's not quite full because it takes an average of the 3. If I remove this one, you'll notice that it pings right back up to the top and says that it's full again because these 2 mana tablets are full. So full plus full divided by 2 is still going to be full, but if I add in the 3rd mana tablet that is already missing half of its mana, it's just letting you know that something is missing effectively. This is very handy though, because these store an awful lot of mana, and that's going to massively increase the amount of durability that your tools and armour have. And this gets even better. If I run back inside and come back to my crafting bench, and we put 4 of our mana steel ingots in a little circle like so, and then we add 1 of our mana tablets to it, we are able to make a band of mana, which is going to be a little ring, as it says. And that now is going to be able to go into the ring slot in our upper inventory, which you get to just by clicking on this little icon in the corner, and that will bring up the additional inventory on the side. And we can see it has got 2 ring slots, so we can take this band of mana, we can pop that into there, and then we can close that down. And now what we can also do is we can take these tablets out of our inventory. Maybe I don't want to be running around with those with me, and lo and behold, I still have a nice full blue bar flashing away, letting me know all of that durability is ready to be used up by my tools, and I don't have mana tablets clogging up my inventory. And now I can do all my running around, my getting killed by stuff, my usual mining, whatever it is that's using up durability, and so long as that blue bar is there flashing away, I will know I've got plenty of durability left. Nothing is going to break. And you've also got the additional benefit then as well, that this ring operates exactly the same as a mana tablet. So if it's not quite full and you come over to any mana pool that's currently sending mana to the tablet, if you throw the ring into it instead, the ring will absorb the mana from it, refresh itself, and then you can use that in order to increase the durability again of all of your tools, effectively giving you mending that doesn't require you to use up experience points or go hunting mobs or anything like that. You can just refresh all of your equipment with lovely mana. And now that we've got this gear, we are able to enchant it in exactly the same way we would be able to do normal iron gear. I need some lapis, give me some here. And what can we get? Now we've got 32 levels again. So let's try shovel. Oh, I'm breaking 3. Unbreaking 3. Anybody give me anything any more interesting than Unbreaking 3? Nah. These are all going to be... Ooh! Blast Protection 4. Yes, please. That's definitely something I could do with. Nice. And even when you're wearing Enchanted Armor, it still doesn't show up. It's not like it develops a sort of shine to it or anything like that. I've got no shiny pants on over the top of mine or anything. But I am now once again under 30 levels, so I will come back later on and do some more enchanting once that's built up again. For now, I want to make a new flower. And this is the one that I want to make. I want to make Agri Carnation. Where are you? Agri Carnation. There he is. What do we need for him? So we're going to need 2 lime petals, green, yellow, easy peasy, redstone root, easy, and a rune of spring. This is a more expensive rune than the ones that we're used to. So this is one of the seasons runes, and it's going to use 2 of our elemental runes in order to make it, as well as some other really basic equipment that's easy to get hold of. But I will need a rune of fire and a rune of water. Rune of Fire, if I remember correctly, I made that last time, and I should have it stored somewhere. There he is, 1 Rune of Fire, and sadly, of course, I don't have the Rune of Water. Okay, what do we need for Rune of Water? Rune, water. So, bone meal got, sugarcane got, fishing rod, random, but I can easily get hold of that, and mana powder and a mana steel inglet. Easy peasy, let me just grab those bits and pieces together. Okay, so I think I've got everything together now that I need. So I've got my fishing rod, you get on there, a bone meal, a sugarcane, mana steel ingot and the mana powder. There we go. This is being supplied with mana from our mana spreader up there, because at the moment I don't have my generating flowers ready for that one. So for now we'll use this one, it's good enough. And we can see it is building up with mana as we speak. And as soon as this is full, we should be able to make our Rune of Water. And there we go. So I'll just throw one of these living rocks onto the top. Then click on that, right click with my Wand of the Forest. Ta-da! Come here, little runes. Right, so adding Rune of Water to that little list there. So we've got our 3 saplings, wheat, Rune of Fire and Rune of Water. And now if we add all of these on, am I going to get mobbed? Let's just pop you there and pop you there. Right, so back to the job at hand. Birch saplings. On you go. 1, 2, 3. Then we need wheat. Then we need Rune of Fire and then the Rune of Water. And that's going to make our Rune of Spring. There we go, that one is now ready for us. So same again, we'll throw our living rock on the top, right click with our Wand of the Forest, and there we go, and that has popped off new rune for us. We have got a nice new Rune of Spring to use. And now that we're back in the nice safe indoors, you may have noticed that when I crafted my Rune of Spring, I also got back the Rune of Fire, and if I just look at my inventory, I also got back my Rune of Water as well. That's because runes act like a catalyst. It's not like you have to keep making them over and over and over and over and over again. When you're making the higher tiered runes, you'll get them back. Which is a really nice trick that just means you're not going to constantly be burning through low grade runes, constantly making up higher grade ones. Although of course this is going to get used up now because we're going to use it to make a flower. So let's put together and make our Agri Carnation, and then we'll go and see what it can do. Pop that in there. I think I put all the ingredients here. I did, along with my Rune of Spring. Let's just add these along. Right, so to make our Agri Carnation, we're going to need that Rune of the Spring, our 2 lime petals, a green petal, a yellow petal, and a redstone root. There we go. That is confirming for us that we have done the right ingredient list. And so now when we add our seeds in, ooh, we get our new flower. There we go, 1 Agri Carnation, a sort of strange green looking flower. And I'd be willing to bet that just from its name, you can probably guess what it's able to do. I just grab these and we'll take them with us. We're going to go over to where the crops are currently growing by the animals. Because what Agri Carnation does is it acts a little bit like bees. Whenever you have bees around crops or anything like that, it's able to encourage the plants to grow so that they grow a little bit faster. Well, Agri Carnation does that just rather more reliably than bees do. So Agri Carnation works in much the same way as, for example, the water blocks that you put down in farmland, and then it's going to hydrate a certain area around it. Obviously, water source blocks are going to hydrate 4 blocks away from them. Agri Carnation, on the other hand, is going to encourage the growth of plants within 5 blocks of itself. So if I want to work out where this is going to go, I need to count 5 in from the edge. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could place it just here, and that would be absolutely fine. It's then going to encourage plants 5 off in each direction, and then I can extend my farm 5 in this way as well. And then I'm going to have this whole area being encouraged by this little Agri Carnation. The only thing is it does, of course, need its own little mana pool, so we will lose 1 block of farmland just there. But that's a small price to pay, considering how quickly this little guy is able to work. So if I just remove all of this ground, all these crops from here, and expose the ground, then we can start bringing in some wheat. We'll be able to see just how much this guy is able to work. So we've got our mana tablet. Here is our mana pool. That is currently going tablet to pool. That's good. We'll throw that one in. You can fill up the pool. Have you linked up? You have not, so we can crouch and right click both of you so that you're able to take mana from the pool, and we can immediately see, just the same as when you've got bees flying over, you get these little sparkly green particles indicating where plants are being given an individual and randomized effect that is speeding up their growth, kind of like a mini bone meal effect on them. It does mean though that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is going to be the limit of my farm this way. I might as well extend the path over here. There we go, just like that. Look at all of my plants happily growing away. Lovely. That is a very satisfying sight indeed. And on that note, I think that's where I'm going to leave it off for today. We've got ourselves a nice new field. We've got ourselves thoroughly kitted out, although you can't actually tell because it's all invisible. And we've started making some of the higher tier runes as well, moving into the seasons, and soon it'll be on to all of the deadly sins as well, which is none too shabby. So, I hope you've enjoyed this little episode. Happy Minecrafting everyone, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye!